First, it was these guys right here that caught my attention for this upcoming release of the Reebok Ghostbusters line, and I was just thinking, you know, Instapump Furies with Ghostbusters, that's definitely a shoe that I want to go and have a look at, especially when it comes to Reebok and movies, because they do an awful lot of tie-ups together, and I could pick out about a dozen different Instapump Furies that are tied it up with a Reebok sneaker, especially the Instapump Furies, but I'm going to pick this one right here. Doing! There's the Minions. I love the Minions film, especially because I have a 3-year-old who loves Minions, so really it's for her more than me. But that Instapump Fury Minions from the movie is an example of what they do at the Reebok line, bringing together the glitz of the silver screen and then the Reebok line. And it's not just it's not just Instapump Furies. There's also more going on, and we'll get into that later in this video. The other shoes that are in this pack that I know of. There's 4 that I know of, but there might be some more. But that aside, it's really focusing in on those Instapump Furies that I want to get into, because that's the first shoe in this group of shoes that I got interested in and drew me in. And to be honest, it's the coolest one of the 4. So I definitely want to take it apart, look at it with you guys today, show you all the details on it, talk about the other shoes in the pack, and go through it a little bit by bit. So without further ado, let's get into this and take a close-up look at the upcoming release of the Reebok Instapump Fury Ghostbusters. This is the Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel です。毎日アップするので毎日見てください. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And in the spotlight today is some Psychomagnotheric slime. Now, there's no way I'm going to remember that. Psychomagnotheric slime. I give it maybe 2 minutes before that's drifted out of my memory, and I really should call these shoes exactly that: the Reebok Instapump Fury Ghostbusters Psychomagnotheric Slime shoe, or Mood Slime. Maybe I'll do that. I'll call it Mood Slime, which is its nickname in Ghostbusters 2. That's where that is coming from. The Ghostbusters 2 slime plays a major role in that movie, and it's all about how it makes things move and it mimics emotion. So if you have positive emotions, it's positive slime, and if you have negative emotions, surprise surprise, it's negative slime. And it's that slime pink in color that is playing it all out on these Instapump Furies. But quickly, before we look at those Instapump Furies, let's look at some Zig Kineticas. This one here is a very simple white looking shoe, and I'm sure it represents something, but I just haven't been able to find out what in the Ghostbusters line. Now, it's not all about Ghostbusters 2 today. It is about Ghostbusters in general, and the reason we know that is because of the answer 4s. Doing, there's the answer 4s there. Now, I do know that these guys are supposed to represent Sigourney Weaver's character from the first Ghostbusters film, and the gatekeeper Zool, with the gatekeeper to the underworld, and that you know, the jaws and the kind of mouth effect on these answer 4s, I think it's question 4s. These answer 4s represent Zool, the gatekeeper. But I don't know about those white Zig Kineticas, but I do know about these guys right here, and that's the it's not Mr. Puff, I forgot what his name is. The Marshmallow Man, something Puff Marshmallow Man, and you know, you can't not see that. You know what I'm saying? Look at the shoe. It's absolutely covered in the guy. And I'm going to try and remember what his name is throughout this film. I bet it pops in this film, this movie, this video, this YouTube content, and it's going to pop into my head right in the middle. I'll be like, it's that. I thought it was Mr. Puff, but then when I actually checked it out and researched this video in advance, I was like, it's not Mr. Puff. It's actually Puff, Marshmallow Man. I'll try and remember what that is. But that aside, the shoe itself, one of the latest silhouettes, the newest silhouettes from the Reebok line, the Zig Kinetica, is definitely sporting you know, a ton of graphics there. So you've got those 3 shoes that we're not looking at today. The Zig Kineticas, that I don't know what they are. The Zig Kineticas, something Puff, Marshmallow Man, and then the answer 4s, Zool. But today it's all about these guys right here, the Instapump Fury Slime, Mood Slime. Now, I'm Psychomagnotheric slime. I've already forgotten what it's called, so I told you it would be about 2 minutes. I bet that was 2 minutes. But I'll just call it Mood Slime throughout. So we're going to go through this shoe, talk about it bit by bit, especially because the Instapump Fury is probably my favourite silhouette from the Reebok line in recent years, and especially those tie-ups with movies like I talked about already, and those Minions, and there's tons more out there. But let's get into it. Let's focus on this shoe. And the first thing I want to talk about and is that pink upper and the slime on there that represents that Mood Slime from Ghostbusters 2. But more than that, more than just looking at that upper and looking at the interesting patterning of that slime on there, it's more interesting to me to actually look at it from the point of view that the left and the right shoes don't match. And there's two really good ways to do that. One is on the toe and the other one is on the heel. So we'll start down on the toe and have a look at the toes on these to give you an idea of all the pink that's going on in there, the slime and the different details in there. But then, like I said, on top of that, it's not just about the details and the colour, it's about the differences between the left shoe and the right shoe. So hopefully on the green screen here you're seeing that kind of view from above that gives you an idea about the shoes and in particular the differences between the left and the right shoes. And then the heel is a really easy place to go around and see that and see what's going on in the back there. You've got the Reebok branding on the back, this offset and a different colour to that pink, but I think it's the left shoe which will be over my right shoulder, but your left as you look at it. I think it's that left shoe that has less pink slime on it, and then when you look at the right shoe you can see there's a lot more pink slime on it. If it's the other way around, doesn't matter because you can see it on the green screen here, but the point being that it's different patterning, different hits, different detailing on the two shoes, so you can clearly see that between the left and the right shoes, and it's a major feature of these Instapump Furies. Speaking of major features of the Instapump Furies, I can't speak today. Speaking of the major hits on the Instapump Furies, one of the things I always look at, because they've really played with it a lot in recent times, is that actual pump unit at the top of the tongue, because these guys don't really have tongues because they don't really have laces, and laces and tongues kind of go together. But what they do have is they have pump units, and the pump unit has one big circle that you literally pump. And remember the Tom and Jerry's, which wasn't a movie shoot but was a collaboration with media. They had Tom and Jerry's faces imprinted on the pump up there. But what we've got on here is something that's a little bit disappointing to me, because yes, it does speak of Ghostbusters when you look at that kind of no go low go. You know, it's like a stop or some kind of I don't know, it's a street sign or a traffic sign that's all about don't do this. And then usually what you'd see is a ghost coming out from behind there, a white ghost coming out from behind there. And then in Ghostbusters 2, I think I'm remembering correctly that he had a peace sign for the 2. You see neither though. All you see is that red circle with the red line running across it like a street sign, but not the actual Ghostbusters branding. And I think that's kind of a letdown. I don't know why they haven't done that. Maybe too much ink on there would just fade away with too many pumps over time, and they can only do kind of silhouettes and outlines rather than adding the kind of detail of the ghost on there, or maybe there's some other reason. But whatever it isn't there, and it's great to see the branding with that kind of red circle with the lines through it, yes, but without the ghost in there is kind of a little bit of a letdown. So sorry Reebok, that's a tiny little detail that just didn't do it for me. A tiny little detail that does do it for me though is on the midsole, and I haven't seen this in recent Instapump Furies, so it's kind of a cool detail, and hopefully I'm zooming in on here and you can see the hexalite windows looking through to the cushioning on the inside of the midsoles. But what I'm more interested in is the two-tone effect that I've not seen very often on Instapump Furies, and you can see that kind of grey section and then the whiter section that wraps around it, so that kind of dual two-colour, two-tone effect on the back end of the shoe on the midsole section is kind of a neat little detail. And speaking of midsoles, might as well go to outsoles and have a look at what's going on here. And it's something I've looked at a lot in Instapump Furies, is what they do with the mid-foot shank, and you can see on these guys that carbon fibre is back in very clear carbon fibre natural colours, but sometimes that's been taken out, and I've been a bit critical in the past of Instapump Furies that don't do more with the shank on there, for example putting something to do with the collaboration, or in the case of these guys, the actual classic carbon fibre look. And I do like it that it's back on this shoe, even though the rest of the outsole is kind of very simple and very dark and very black. Having that carbon fibre in there really sets it off, and it is a massive signature feature of the Instapump Furies. Back out to look at the whole shoe then. I don't think there's much more else to talk about in terms of it, so you can see the guys right here. There are pink pull tabs up high on the top of the tongues, and also at the back on the top of the heel, where you can kind of pull your foot into them. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's something going on in the insole, but I just haven't been able to find a picture of the insole, so I don't really know the details that are going on in there. But they're a great shoe, part of 4 packs packs, a 4-pack of shoes for the Ghostbuster celebration coming from Reebok on June the 3rd. Now, like I said, have seen 3 other shoes, and these guys haven't seen any more than that. But usually, when I've done these pack videos in the past, now I'm shooting this video on May the 18th, 19th, I think it's the 19th today, and it'll probably go up onto YouTube on about the 22nd for June the 3rd, so it's about 10 days ahead of the drop date. And I wouldn't mind betting between now, May the 19th, and June the 3rd, when they drop, a bunch more shoes from this Ghostbuster tie-up will come out. But for now, it's just the 4 that I know of. And with that being said, it's time to wrap up this video. Another video done every single day, daily drops, churning out the content, trying to get towards 1,000 consecutive days on YouTube. I think I'm past 900 days. I haven't checked for a while. I have to calculate it back to December the 9th. 2018 and work out how many consecutive days since then I've done a YouTube video every single day, and it's a great thing to aim for, and hopefully getting to that 1,000 consecutive days will come, and we can celebrate that together at the channel. With that being said, it's time to just say thank you for checking out the content, and also that because I do this every single day, I get to say the same thing at the end of every single video, which is that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.